Taurus, let's get right into your reading. All right, this is the money, wealth, finance, prosperity, and abundance reading for the sign of Taurus for June 2025. What do we need to know? Okay, these are way too many cards flipping over. What do we need to know for the sign of Taurus as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of June 2025. All right, Taurus, let's see what the cards are telling us today for your money in June. All right, you know what I see, Taurus? I see money coming, but I see that you may not be entirely ready or receptive for it. And the reason why I say that is because look at this Eight of Wands, and we've got the Judgment card. When I see the Judgment card in the reverse, that means there's something going on mentally, your mindset, that could be holding you back. That could be you getting in your own way. But we've got the Three of Wands, which means you're planning for financial increase, financial benefit, but there's something emotionally or mentally that you're not quite ready for as it relates to that. Now, that doesn't mean the money won't come in, doesn't mean that you're not doing the right things, but what it does mean is that sometimes we can stifle our own growth, or like I said, we get in our own way and we not necessarily sabotage, but we slow things down that don't need to be slowed down. All right, energetically, financially, mentally, emotionally, whatever the case may be. So that's what I'm picking up here. So wealth is coming, but are you really ready for it? All right, Taurus, are you really ready? Okay, because this here talks about the timing. That Eight of Wands in the reverse means things are slow, but it's only because of you. You know, are you slowing things down unintentionally? Are you, making your financial situation, like, are you making things take longer than they need to? All right, the Knight of Cups means that you have help and answers and support, but you're not tapping into it. You're not utilizing it. Again, because I feel like, sometimes some of us struggle with that worthiness or feeling undeserving, or we are programmed to think, oh, I have to work so many hours, or I have to work so many years before I can experience true success. And that's not how it is. Especially nowadays, people are making money within minutes, within hours, like unbelievable amounts of money. Okay, so pay attention to what you're thinking, because I'm picking up that this is something mental. All right, Taurus, so that's what we've got. But here's the thing. The money's there. All right, the money is there. You're doing the right things. All right, so what else do we need to know for the sign of Taurus as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of June 2025? What do we need to know for the sign of Taurus? See, and there it is. All right, you create your own breakthroughs in the second week of June, Taurus. All right, Taurus, so yes, here is that programming where you feel like, oh, I got to do this, I got to do that. And maybe you do, temporarily, maybe you do. But the Four of Wands is you feeling a little bit insecure financially. And everybody goes through that. That's not unique to you. But as you start to realize that you have more power and more opportunity than you think you do, or that you're giving yourself credit for, things start to shift. And you do make that shift in this second week of June, like I said. The Magician is tapping into your resources. The Page of Cups means you have an invitation or an offer headed your way. I do believe this is going to be something financially beneficial. The Ace of Wands is money coming in, money going out. All right, and this is cash. I think you're going to sell something here in that second week of June, Taurus, and you're going to get the money, and then that's going to be the exact amount of money you need to pay a bill or something like that. But like I said, I think that's good. I always think that's a blessing. Okay, so you know that you can make the money you want to make, all right? There's no question about that. It's just a matter of, you know, you kind of overcoming or overriding those old ideas that could have been holding you back in the past. So money's coming, Taurus, money's coming. Again, it's about how ready are you for it, okay? Are you ready? And remember, sometimes we have to, like I said, reprogram ourselves and not think that, oh, you know, I have to do things a certain way or I have to be a certain kind of person in order to make money. You don't. All right, you don't. All right, what else do we need to know for the sign of Taurus as it relates to money, wealth, finances, prosperity, and abundance for the month of June 2025? What do we need to know for the sign of Taurus? Okay, looking at these cards, we still have timing. Like you're still questioning the timing of how quickly, when will it show up? All right, so because we got the Eight of Wands twice, and that's you questioning the time frame or the speed that something is happening. Now, here's the thing, Taurus. When I look at these cards here, you don't really have a solid plan, although that doesn't have to totally prevent you from making money, but it's going to make the money you want to make more difficult. Like, you're going to have to work harder. All right, so look at these cards here, because this means you need to invest in something. There's not a solid plan in place, and so you may be feeling a little frustrated. All right, because the money's there. It's just a matter of how are you going to funnel it to you? How are you going to bring it in? What is your plan to attract it? What is your plan to maintain it and to grow it? That's where I'm seeing things aren't quite as tight as they could be. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Wands. Like I said, that's things happening slower than what we would like them to, but that's okay. Sometimes we have phases where things move slowly, and it doesn't mean that anything is wrong. Then we have the Queen of Wands, which means there's going to be some changes in your physical space, in your physical environment. All right, maybe you move to a new office. Maybe you move to a new home. Maybe you rearrange your furniture. Maybe you get rid of some stuff that's been taking up space. You declutter. All right, so look for changes in your physical space, because that can also help you get clear about the money you want to make. Then we've got that Nine of Cups, one of my favorite cards, one of the most positive cards in the deck. That's literally the wish card. Again, if you needed confirmation that money is on the way to you, that Nine of Cups is it. All right, so, but again, Taurus, it's about how ready you are for it. All right, how, you know, are you ready to receive it? All right, you're going to have to be very proactive. That's what that Hermit card is telling me. You're going to need to be very proactive. You need to be in the action-taking phase or the action-taking season for you to get this money, Taurus. Whoa. All right, because the Hermit card means it's not time to sit back. It's time to take massive action. All right, and people aren't going to understand what you're doing, but that's okay. We don't need them to. We don't need people. We don't need anyone's approval to make the money we want to make. All right. Next, we got the Nine of Wands. That's good to see that in the reverse, because that is the card of feeling encouraged and feeling hopeful and powerful. The Eight of Cups means you walk away from something with no regrets. Anything that's getting in the way of you making the money you want to make, or anything that causes you to hesitate being receptive to the money you want to make, you walk away from it, which is fantastic. All right, that's exactly what you need to do. And then we have the Hangman. You realize that you're going to have to make some sacrifices, and you are more than willing to do that. All right, Taurus, so this is really good. Like I said, the money is coming. You just have to get ready. And getting ready is going to mean taking more action, creating a plan so you're not just busy. So, you know, you're actually being productive and making the right choices, making the right moves. Okay. And then also sacrificing and walking away from the things that get in the way of you making the money you want to make. So June is definitely going to be a very reflective month for you, Taurus. It's also going to be a month where, you know, you just kind of decide once and for all, I want this money, I'm going to have this money, and I'll do what it takes to get this money. Now, sometimes that's the only thing that you need to change when it concerns you being in a position to get the money that you want. All right. Like sometimes really it is just making that decision and then following through to carry out that decision and not allowing anything to get in the way. But, you know, that's a process. It takes some of us time to learn that. Okay. But you're in the position to learn it. You're in the position to do it. All right, Taurus. So like I said, June is definitely a month where money will show up for you, and you're going to be taking a lot of action. But like I said, it's gonna pay off. All right. So let's go ahead and close out your reading with a career and money oracle card. All right, so check this out. You got the skull card, rough patch, borrowing money, low on cash. Interesting, right? But remember, we did talk about how sometimes you could get in your own way, or you can cause things to slow down unintentionally. All right, career, hospice healer, no work, reinvention. Yes, this reinvention, I think that definitely taps into the energy of your reading today. So that's what I got for you, Taurus. I hope you enjoyed this reading. I hope it was helpful. I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me, and we'll do it all again next month.